Well, I've just got watching, well, just done watching the Jimquisition episode, the Wacky Harassment Blame Parade. And, first of all, my God, this is a case of, and I've said this before, when people like him and Movie Bob decide to talk about social issues, they just go, whee! And this is one such thing. Let's get into some of the things he makes. First of all, he shows pictures of apparently the Mighty Becca, or the thing that's going on with the Mighty Number 9 situation at the moment. There's a very good video by the Internet Aristocrat that explains all that, and the exact reasons why people are worried and pissed off about this. And it's not because she's a woman. There's a lot more other reasons than just that. And trust me, that'll be the last reason anyone's worrying about at the moment. And I feel sorry for any Mighty Number 9 people that kickstarted that. Second of all, he decided to show, Anita Sarkeesian, ignoring the things that we found out about her and things that have come out about her over the past year, and her, quite frankly, terrible videos. So then he goes on to Depression Quest, which is supposedly the new anti-woman thing. First of all, I'm sorry, Zoe Quinn, you're targeting the wrong demographic. I'm sorry, but you are. This is not something you should be targeting at gamers. Second of all, a lot of this harassment and the things that you've been getting have actually been coming from people who have depression. Now, I think that Zoe Quinn has actually suffered from depression herself, which is all. I agree with the concept of the game, but I think that she's pitched it to the wrong people and audience. But I'm sorry, a lot of these people that have been, complaining, giving you abuse, said it themselves. They've got depression themselves. They feel that you making a game of what they suffered through and gone through in their daily lives makes an entire mockery of them. And that's where most of the abuse has been coming from. Now he then goes into the typical argument of, it's the gaming community to blame, and that the gaming community saying that it's not the entire community, it's a small part of the community that's to blame, and that by the larger community not demolishing the smaller community, then we're all to blame. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't really work, because it's like saying, because the Westboro Baptist Church exists, all Catholics are just like that. They're not. Problem is, as I've said before, you cannot stop online harassment. You can ignore it, which is the best thing you can do, and quite frankly, Zoe Quinn, even when she was getting linked to some of the things, why the hell were you going on and clicking on them and looking at them and not deleting the post outright? There are ways to deal with it. Like, you can delete the post, you can block the user. Oh, they might come back, well, block them again. Bravo for wasting their time. I'm sorry, but there are ways to deal with it. And I'm sorry. And people are going to say, having a thick skin isn't, a good enough reason. I'm sorry, but it is. If someone insults you on the internet, so what? You know what? All you have to do is turn off your PC and just walk away. It just doesn't and shouldn't bother you, quite frankly. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And again, Jim Sterling, in the video, he goes, it should be the community. You should, if you see some of this, you just stand up and say, you're doing it wrong, and wag your finger at them. How is that going to help the situation? It's not. He's only going to encourage the trolls, because basically, what's the word you should live by? Don't feed the trolls, and that's exactly what you're doing if you decide to go finger wagging. So, basically this video should be Jim Sterling's finger wagging parade. Because that's what it basically is. And again, to say that the entire community is at fault, look, if anyone said that specifically attacks, someone's gender, it's entirely wrong. If it was in person, yeah, I'd stand up for it, but I'm not going to stand up for it on the internet. Why should I? I don't have to comment on that post if I don't want to. Why should I have to wave my finger at someone doing it? It's not my responsibility. And if you're stupid enough to take on that responsibility, then God help you. You'll just end up in a never-ending finger-wagging contest. You'll just stand at your monitors going like that when you're browsing the internet constantly, because you cannot stop internet harassment. No matter how much you try, you just cannot stop it. And I'm sorry, Jim Sterling, but that video was just awful and wrong.